Hello everyone, it's Mike from Chess Lifestyle, and today we are just training around half an hour because I want to grab some dinner and then head to the chess club. Probably I'll just head to the chess club and grab dinner afterwards. Yeah, it's been a pretty hectic day as usual, but in general, no, feeling pretty good about things. I mean, there are some positives to take from today as well, so we can't be too miserable as usual. One thing that I better do real quick is actually change the amount of time. We're actually up to a number of subscribers now that equates to a number of seconds, which equates to 64 minutes. So basically, yeah, in theory, we should be training 64 minutes. And welcome, Arav, welcome, Mark, to the stream. One quick thing I will say as well, Mark, is that I took the last, 20 minutes from the previous stream, and I have edited it into a video. So I think tomorrow you will see a nice upload just covering the game that we analyzed, this Garganitsa game together. I felt like it was quite fun. So okay, without further ado, let us get into some training. Welcome Josh and welcome Arjun. Hope you guys are doing well. Let's keep going. So we've got around 16 more of these intermediate exercises before we get on to part 3, and then we're almost done and can just finally leave this blasted course forever. Okay, Beliavsky against Spassky, Linares 1990, white to play. Okay, wait, am I just super sharp already for no reason, but is knight f8 just winning, in the sense that if rook takes f8, queen g6, queen g7. But knight f8, I guess the problem is they can still move here or here, and do we have some kind of follow-up? And this is why we don't calculate like what we're doing right now. Probably rook, if king g8, then probably rook g7 is most critical. But I mean, I might win actually, because then we've got rook e7. It's just so messy, so messy. Okay, let's actually just think about this normally. So, okay, what even is the material? Got queen, rook, rook, knight, 4 pawns. Queen, rook, rook, bishop, 4 pawns. What about king safety? So we've got knight for bishop. What about king safety? That king looks, very uncomfortable with this queen and knight so close. Also this rook. It really looks like there should be something. Our king also looks a little bit weak. I mean, there's potential for queen d4. There is a check. Rook g2 is also a check, so I need to be careful. Although I could probably escape to h2 and it seems okay. So maybe we have a bit more time, actually. Let's understand any details about the position. So do we have any... Well, first of all, do we have any threats? I guess no, we should look at threats later. So first of all, details. Any loose pieces? Nothing is loose. Everything is kind of protecting each other, but maybe things can change. What about white's pieces? Yeah, everything is also protected except for the rook on g3. What about X-ray pressure and what about tension? Tension here. Okay, that's just support. Maybe some tension on the knight. Maybe some tension on these squares. X-ray pressure here. Maybe some tension on e7. Okay, so with all of this in mind, let's start calculating our options. So what checks do we have? We've got this one check. Got check, check. And that's about it. What about captures? Capture here. That's the only capture. What about threats? Maybe rook e7 does something. Maybe knight e7 does something. Yeah, really not too sure. Okay, so let's begin with our checks then. Knight f8, they cannot take the knight because of force mate in 2. So knight f8, they have 2 king moves. Let's say they go king g8. I've got one check with rook takes g7. Maybe knight f8, king g8, maybe rook e7 is interesting. Because we threaten to take on g7. Somehow I feel like that's winning for white. As I said, any checks on our king, we've always got king h2. So knight f8, what if they go king h8? I wonder if I can still go rook e7. If they take my queen, I probably have to take back. Do we have enough? Maybe not. Knight f8, king h8. Oh, to be fair though, actually in both of these lines, do we not just have knight d7? Discovered check. Because if they go back, then we can just take on f6. So at the very least we've got that. So maybe knight f8 is just winning an exchange. And that's good enough. I mean, I can have a very quick scan for my other checks just to see if there's anything stronger. I think I'm happy with this. So king g8 was chosen, which actually means that now we have a choice between rook e7 or this knight d7 move. I think knight d7 is a very secure line. Rook e7, maybe there's some bullshit that I'm missing. Also looks very good. It looks so fine. It looks so fine. Wait, hold up. If I play rook e7 and they take, and then I give check, they don't have to go to h8. They can come to f8. And then I'm lost. Okay, so that's why we need to just play knight d7 and not fuck around. Oh, okay, we've even got this. I didn't see that one. Did not see that one. I guess I was so blinded by the fact that this looked pretty good already. But this is just way stronger. This is winning like an entire rook. Yeah. Oops. Yeah, let's chuck this all in the engine. So knight f8, king g8. If rook here, yeah, I'm just completely lost because I thought that he'd have to go h8 and then we've got this checkmate, but this is now loose. Actually, I'm curious why that position is a draw at the end. If king h8, why is this a draw? Because if we give check, then they can take we can just take the queen. Wow, and everything's actually defended. And then now this, wow, with the draw. Okay, that's a pretty cool drawing resource, but yeah, of course, completely unnecessary. So knight d7, yeah, queen e8, and here, okay, rook e8 is actually still winning by a lot. Because king h7, knight f6, gf6. It's only an exchange, but I guess our rooks are just so strong that it's like still completely winning. As winning as literally winning a whole piece. With knight f6. Very interesting. Okay, let's see how people got on. Knight f8, surely, yeah, that's was my instinct, but then I couldn't back it up with calculation. Mark says, adopted C3 Venom and Gurgenitz as my main repertoire, let's go, since I'm burnt out from mainline e4 and e4, e5 bullshit. Can send you more games in future if you are interested. Yeah, no, happy to discuss, because I mean, yeah, I think that analysis session was very beneficial for me as well, just to understand more about these positions. So if you're playing some strong players and getting some critical lines, I'm sure it would be useful to discuss. So, yeah, maybe the Garganitza more so than C3 Venom. Because I mean, C3 Venom is just so strong. I don't feel like I need like finessing as much. But yeah, no. Depends on the game really. But yeah, welcome Pranay, welcome Frizz, welcome X.J. Nice to see you, X.J. I don't recognize your name, so welcome if you are new. Yeah, we're just grinding Chessable. Chessable Woodpecker method. Yeah, 97. Okay, good find, Arav, in the end. Okay, so let's keep going. Okay, Spassky against Pri. Montpellier, 1991. White to play. Okay. After that, random daydream. Let's actually think. So we've got Queen Rook Rook Bishop Knight against Queen Rook Rook Bishop Bishop. 1 2 3 4 5 6. 1 2 3 4 5 6. What else is there to note? King safety. Maybe we've got some back rank problems. Their king is off the line of our rook, but maybe it's still a bit dodgy. There's like bishop h6 in the air. What about any tension, any x-rays, any loose pieces? So we've got tension on h6, tension on g7. They've got pressure on b3. X-rays wise, maybe we've got some x-ray to the g8 square. Maybe they've got some x-rays to the back ranks. Loose pieces. So there's loose piece on f4. This is just defended by the knight. Loose rook on a1. Maybe loose pawn on f7. Okay, so with all of this in mind, let's now look at our concrete details. So let's look at our checks. We have no checks. Look at our captures. We've got rook g7. We've also got bishop h6. Knight e6, taking on a4, b takes and rook takes. That's all the captures. What about threats? Maybe bringing in the queen is somewhat threatening. Maybe queen d3, but I don't see why. Queen g4 maybe, because maybe we've got some x-ray on this square. So these two moves in particular look pretty threatening. Maybe rook h3 could be a threat. Maybe some sacrifice, but doesn't feel good. So okay, let's begin with our captures then. If we start with bishop h6, we've won a pawn. They don't have to take us, but then we permanently weaken their king, which I quite like. We can follow up with like queen h5 or something. So if bishop h6 and they take, what if we play the move queen g4? Threatening queen g8 checkmate. If they move bishop e7, we go queen g7 checkmate. So bishop h6, I always feel like they can't take us. And if they go do something else, I felt like queen h5 should be achieving something. I don't know if it does. Maybe then we just take on f7 and we again threaten these two squares. I guess bishop h6. They've also got g6 ideas. but then we've at least won a pawn. I wonder if any of the other moves can be better. Like, what if we started queen g4? I mean, they can still go g6. So it can't be as good. Bishop h6 has to be the best try. What about queen h5 at the start? g6 again is possible. Nah, it's got to be bishop h6. Yeah, let's try it. Okay, so they actually took, which I think is horrendous, because then there's queen g4. I didn't see a single solution. Okay, so why... I mean, surely gh6 cannot be the best try. Desperate attempt with rook takes c3. That looks kind of horrible. Just take the rook, right? Let's have a look. So bishop h6. Rook c3 is actually top move. Wow. Yeah, I considered bishop g7 first, but I thought maybe that actually helps the king. Rook c3 at least is still completely good. If they were to play move like g6, what was my move here? I think I was just happy that I won a pawn and their king is still weak, which is kind of what the assessment is. Actually, I really like bishop f8 and queen f3 to try and come in. That looks very, very nice. Yeah, f5 is the only move here, and it's +5. I mean, it looks horrendous. Yeah, and if they were to take on b3, then my idea was queen h5. And then I was looking at this, right? Or did I have a better move at this moment? Or maybe I said queen g4 was better. But then there's again this g6 move. So I don't even remember what I said. Oh, I think I looked at queen h5, but for some reason I didn't look at g6. And I think I just looked at this and I said that queen takes f7 would win. Right. But g6 is actually kind of annoying. So that's why bishop g7 is actually correct here. Because after bishop takes queen g4, I guess rook g8, and then yeah, rook h3. Yeah, very nice. Okay, so bishop g7 probably should be a bit more on my radar. Yeah. But okay, bishop h6 is good. Let's see how people did. Welcome Faz to the stream as well. Did you see Fabi beating Arjun with c3? Yes, I did. Didn't make a YouTube video on it because I was busy at the time, but probably should have. Bishop h6, yes. Yeah, exactly. Faz got the critical line, at least what Axel Smith was showing. Yeah, just a bad position. Somehow I thought the h6 square was available for the dark squared bishop, but it's not. Not sure if I even understand. Yeah, let's just keep going. So okay, 18 minutes to go. Let's solve some more. So okay, Fischer against Spassky. Belgrade. So not the... Wait. Oh, this must have been like the reunion match where Fischer and Spassky played many years after the World Championships. Okay, so white to play. It's rook, knight, knight, bishop, and 6 pawns against rook, bishop, bishop, knight, and 6 pawns. Somehow this actually jumps out at me with some ideas of like knight takes c5 and like rook here. That's like my feeling that something could be there. But okay, let's spend a bit more time thinking. So their king is quite exposed. We don't have a light squared bishop though. Our king is quite exposed, but feels like their pieces are a bit too underdeveloped to give us issues. So in this position, there is tension on this pawn, both ways. There is also pressure on a6. Pressure on b3. I've also got a knight pressuring here too. Pressure on c5. three ways, actually. Okay, so what else is there to understand? Loose pieces, right? I mean, there's a loose bishop, undeveloped pieces, loose bishop. This is defended. Okay, fine. So, okay, let's just begin with our checks, captures, threats. So, okay, what checks do we have? We've got knight a5, knight d4. What captures do we have? We've got rook takes a6, pawn takes f6. What threats do we have? We've got like rook d1. Okay, let's begin with our checks then. So knight a5 looks hideous. Same with this. I just take. What about captures? So if we just take first, I guess I'll just develop. And we can win a pawn, but maybe it's not enough. So I guess we need to find something even stronger than that. Our knight takes c7 idea, they can win a piece by recapturing. But then we've got rook takes a6. And if they block, we can probably go bishop takes and win the piece. So then if they have to go king d7 in order to protect, then we can go knight takes c5 and pick up the bishop. So actually, the more I look at this looks good. And it feels stronger than playing with this knight, because then maybe they can throw in bishop takes b3. So I think this looks really good. Yeah, and this is what happens when you don't develop your pieces and your king is loose. So, okay, let's actually make sure that, for instance, there's no king here. That also defends the bishop. At the very least, we can give a check. And then take the bishop. So, that's got to be good. Okay, let's go for it. Rook a6. And we come back this way, which was simply just knight c5. That was at least what I had gathered, so. Okay, very nice. Damn. I don't know how Spassky got in such a awkward position. Apparently, this knight doesn't work because at this moment, bishop c5, they can take like this. Ah, okay. Yeah, I didn't see in this exact move order, but yeah, just giving the opponent an extra capture just really felt wrong. So, okay, glad we got this one correct. My mind is weird nowadays. Lost like 10 blitz games in a row recently. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know really what the solution is when we start like thinking in a weird way over the board. I guess maybe it's like if you can spot what aspect of weirdness it is, then it's something to actively work against. Yeah, not sure. Okay, everyone say knight takes c5, but which knight exactly, Faz? And then, yeah, b knight is important. Yeah. Okay, looks like Mark was convinced that b knight is indeed best, and yeah, looks best. Bishop c8, resign 2 moves later, fair enough. Okay, good stuff. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, more Fischer against Spassky. We've got queen, rook, bishop, bishop against queen, rook, bishop, knight. 4, 6, 6. Okay. what do we do after looking at material? Let's look at king safety. King safety, our king on h3. Their king on f7. Fine. What about piece tension? So there's tension between the two bishops. Pressure on this bishop from the rook. Knight is a little bit awkward for now. Maybe some x-rays into the heart of black's position. X-rays through this pawn. Pressure on this pawn. Pressure on these squares. What loose pieces do we have and what loose pieces do they have? This is all loose, loose. Okay. Right, so let's now consider some candidates. This is somehow an instinct. But okay, let's start with our check. So we've got queen e8 check. Queen d7 check. What about captures? We can capture here. And also capture with the rook. Capture of the queen. What threats? I guess this d4 push is a potential threat. Don't really know what else to look at right now. So I think on that note, let's calculate our checks first. Nothing in either of these two lines. Captures. Bishop takes. I do feel like this improves our structure, which is nice. Maybe we can even throw in d6. If they take with the queen, maybe we go bishop d5. They have to play a move like king g7. But that allows queen e8, so maybe they should go like king f8. But we do enter this way. I mean, it looks kind of good. Bishop takes and then d6. Try and enter here as well. So what if they take with the rook? Guess I can take this and still threaten bishop d5. It looks actually very good. Like just do this. Okay, is there anything else to note? Like, what if rook takes, pawn takes, and d6? Is this somehow better? Doesn't feel that way. I mean, queen takes looks okay. Yeah, no, bishop takes surely has to be the better option. d4. Maybe they just take with the pawn even. Seems fine. Seems good. It's got to be bishop takes. It's got to be bishop takes. Bishop takes, pawn takes, and we push. And if they take... I mean, throw this check in first. And then take on a7. It's got to be a winning position. It's got to be winning. It's got to be winning. Bishop takes wins. Bishop takes wins. I don't care. Bishop takes wins is too soft. But what about d6 here? I had a feeling bishop takes is going to be wrong because Woodpecker would never start with a bishop trade like this. But I believe it's completely winning. There's no way he holds after d6. So yeah, okay. First of all, Stockfish is saying that bishop takes is as good as rook takes. So screw you, Mr. Axel Smith. And d6 is only equal, annoyingly. Oh, that's very annoying. How is this not completely busted? King g7 even. Okay, fine. Both of these moves look attractive. Yeah, in fairness, queen a7 can be met by knight e7. Which does seem a little annoying. Although there is rook takes e5, I quite like this move. To try and take here, but then I guess there's just a mass trade and it's just equal. Queen e8. Wow. And this is just evidence for how like the queen and bishop are just nowhere near as strong as the queen and knight. Because if there was a queen and knight working together here, queen and knight would definitely find a way to checkmate. King h6, sorry, there's just nothing. It's quite incredible. So what? Rook takes is just better. But it's all to do with this one tactic, which I'm still not understanding. Oh, the tactic is to take on a7 and fork, right. Right, okay. And bishop takes. Queen e7 and now d6 because they can't take without giving up this fork again. So you just have to take this position instead, but why is this so... I guess they have an extra... White has an extra pawn. Which was the case in some of the other positions, but this does look like a slightly more pleasant version, somehow. And bishop takes, if we do it this way round, knight e7 already. Or knight f6 even. I don't know. What's it saying? Is too soft. The blacks are more counterplay with the rooks on the board, and it's easier to control the a past d pawn than the a pawn. It's easier to control a past d pawn than an a pawn. I don't even know. I don't even know if Axel Smith is making sense, to be honest. But okay, rook e5. I mean, yeah, the point was bishop e5. And then here was this d6 idea. And we get a similar position. Yeah. Rook d6, bishop d6, queen d6, queen a7. Yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough. Let's have a look at how you guys got on. Right, actually, first that makes perfect sense. Like, you know, doing all this deep calculation, endgame opening prep, like, yeah, it just does not equate to blitz sharpness. And if anything, yeah, your mind is just a little bit less sharp because of thinking of other stuff. Having said that, yeah, intuition is still pretty good. Rook takes e5, looks good. Yeah, okay, Araf's saying the same thing as me. Make of that what you will. Yeah, I should have tried harder to calculate as well. I mean, I did. I just felt like the resulting positions I had calculated were good enough. But no, these streams are about calculation. You should try your best to calculate. I wish I had someone telling me to calculate harder and calculate further. Whereas, like, during it, I can't read chat, right? So... Yeah, I'm not even going to comment on this debate about engines. I don't know. I wonder what kind of player I'd be like without engines. If I managed to reach the point where I am now, and then we just took away engines from everyone, probably I would do better than the average person, or average player of my level. But I think if there were no engines, then I don't even know if I'd get to this point. Like, you know. I mean, obviously it'd be harder to get to this point, but harder for everyone. But it's like, no, like engine analysis has helped so much in terms of my development as a player. Let's throw in one final one because I've already shortened the stream because I need to head to the chess club and get some food. Okay. Someone with almost the surname Isolani, which is another word for the isolated queen's pawn. Black would have had compensation for the exchange if he was allowed to pick up the d pawn for free. Right. Oh, so Nana's a guy. Let's actually find out if Nana's a guy. I bet Nana's a girl. And then... Actually, no, it's... Yeah, Nana's a girl. That is shocking. That is shocking from Axel Smith. Come on, let's get our pronouns correct. See, an engine can't tell you if they're a guy or a girl. That requires actual thought and research. But okay, let's move on. Okay, fine. White to play, what to do? So we got queen, rook, knight against queen, bishop, knight. Exchange up for white. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 against 5. Can I just be jammy, push this pawn and then get a fork? Not really, because they can take like this, but then can we mug them off anyway? Probably like queen e8 is just winning. They can't block with the knight because of the queen. If they move the king to h7, we can take on f7, which surely leads to mate. I mean, they go king h8. That looks so bad. It's got to be d7. It's just got to be. It's got to be. What's the right follow-up? Queen check, king h7. The annoying thing is we can't, like, let's say, sack the queen for the knight, queen takes back, and we go knight f6, because now the bishop is revealed onto f6. So we have to play something like this. King h8 forced. And then what's the winning move here? Maybe anything, because we're already a pawn up. Maybe we just play a move like rook e1 and then threaten to just come rook e8 and has to be over. So, okay, d7 is winning. Nice finish on a nice easy one. Okay, so these were correct, but actually I missed the most critical line, apparently. Queen d6. He also gives rook a1, which is nice for once that Axel Smith gives a variation other than the main line. But okay, d7, queen d6, rook c4. Very cute. So they can't take the rook, and if they take the knight, then queen d1. I mean, take the pawn, then queen d1 is kind of crazy. But in this position, I guess they are threatening to take with the knight, right? They can't take the queen because of knight f6. They take with the knight. If they take with the knight, they still go queen 8, queen takes f7. So I feel like this position, rook c4, isn't even, like, necessary. Yeah, rook d1 or, like, lots of other moves are completely good. Fine. Okay, nice. So, let's see how people did on this one. Interesting take Frizz about the Blitz game played at 3 AM. IQP is a favorite pawn structure. D7. Yep, Nana's probably, if you were to count the number of like the most common names of girls playing chess, I'd say Nana's up there just due to the number of Nanas in Georgia. I feel like Nana's such a famous common name for Georgian players, and probably Georgia is one of like the strongest female chess playing population from what I've observed. Yeah, Spassky getting wrecked is quite funny. Yeah, queen f7, rook e1. Queen e7 is enough. Probably agree with Arav. Yeah, Fritz gives the whole line. And now some talk for World Cup. Okay, I'll finish with some thoughts about World Cup and then we'll move on. First of all, Shankland, the utter disrespect in his interview. Did any of you see that interview where he's discussing his win against Dubov? And he mentions about the fact that he had some past trauma about getting knocked out in the quarterfinal 4 years ago. Wait, 4 years ago? Yeah, 4 years ago in 2021. And he said that, okay, next game I'm going to have to play Esipenko or the other guy. He literally calls the Russian Grandmaster Grebnev the other guy. I mean, fair enough. Like, I hadn't heard of Grebnev either, but come on. Like, he's like a potential opponent, and you're just gonna call the other guy. That's crazy. That's crazy to me. Like, imagine being 2600 at chess. Like, literally one of the top players in the world, and you still just get considered to be the other guy. That is wild. I almost wish Grebnev had won, just to see Grebnev beat Shankland based on that comment alone. Because I feel like the amount of like, ability that would be sparked from such a comment would be unreal. But sadly, we'll never know because indeed the other guy got knocked out. So yeah, we have Shankland against Esipenko. We then have Jospem against Sindarov, is it? I don't remember. And then we had Donchenko losing a game in the Benoni to the other Nordebek, Yakubov. And that Benoni game was just ridiculous. Like I don't know, people will trash on the Benoni, but I've never played a Benoni like he played it. Like, it was just basically like he was just going all in with like tactics from the get-go, and then it just didn't work out because obviously that shouldn't work out. I mean, like, maybe you'll swindle, but like, I don't know what he was doing, to be honest. Like, I would never play the Benoni in that way. But who am I to say anything? And what's the other two players? I've forgotten. Oh, then there's like Arjun and Wei Yi, right? There's Arjun and Wei Yi. Yeah. It would be nice to see Arjun make the candidates because I feel like he's, been up there for some years and like I feel like he deserves a spot. But yeah, Wei Yi is probably the hardest guy to beat out of everyone in the bracket. So who do I think will make it through? Let's make some baseless, wild predictions. I think I've got a bet on Esipenko to beat Shankland just because I know Shankland is in form, but I just think like the kind of streak has to end. I don't see him getting past Esipenko. Like, I know he's beaten all of these other guys, but I feel like Esipenko will be the end of the streak. That's my prediction. Donchenko's going to lose. I don't see him winning tomorrow. I also kind of rate the other Nordebek getting his chance because like he's always a bit overshadowed by the other Uzbek players because he's a little bit older and normally a bit lower rated, but really amazing that he's getting his chance. So I think Nordebek will win. I think Esipenko will win. Can Arjun hold his nerve against Wei Yi? I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say Arjun manages to win. I'm going to say Arjun wins. Probably will jinx it now, but I'm going to say Arjun wins. And then, who do we have left? Sindarov against... Who was Sindarov playing? I've forgotten who Sindarov was playing. The other guy. Sindarov is playing the other guy. So, who the hell is Sindarov playing? I literally said it earlier, and I've literally forgotten. I look like Donchenko. That's kind of a funny observation. Maybe I can see it in the hair a bit, like we both haven't cut it. Right, Esipenko beating Carlsen, being super happy. Yeah, who was Sindarov playing? I'm literally forgetting. clearly the guy must not be that good then. If I'm forgetting. Nah, I don't know. Oh, Jospem. Right. Yeah, no, I think Cinderoff will win. I think Cinderoff's just still the stronger player, just at least when it comes to classical. But no, it's really great to see Jospin make his mark. And then what's the bracket after that? Like, who plays who? Did you say? Did I say or did I see the Peter Heine Nilsson tweet about how 3 not top 20 players in the candidates is too many? I see. No, I didn't see that tweet, but I mean, that's down to the top 20 players choking, right? Like, that is what it is. I do think 3 spots from the World Cup is a bit too many. I think just 2 is enough, to be honest. Like last year's, it was only top 2, right? I think it was only top 2. Faz is a clear Arjun Aragaisi. Are we talking about looks or talking about playing style? Or Uzbek semi-final? I actually don't know what the brackets are. Let's have a very quick look, and then I need to go. Let's check this out. Tournament bracket. I actually don't know what the semi-finals are. So okay. Oh, it could be an all-Uzbek semi-final, which would be kind of crazy. Man, I don't know. To be honest, I just have no idea. I have no idea. I could say a random person to win it. But who knows? I feel like Sindarov will beat Yakubov though. God, I don't know. Who knows? Probably some cursed blunders are gonna decide it. That's my prediction. If I had to bet on this, I wouldn't. Like, I literally have no idea. No, I don't think it was top 3. Because I think it was top 2, but then Magnus didn't. Like, Magnus won, right? It was like Magnus. And Magnus didn't want it? So that's why Absov got in. Oh no, Absov was 4th. Right, Absov was 4th, and then because Magnus didn't want it, then he got 3rd. Okay, fine, it was top 3. What's the worst blunder of the World Cup as of now? Do I even remember any of the games? I literally have no recollection of any of the games, but I'm pretty sure there were some blunders. Yeah, I already mentioned this 4th place stuff, Arav. Right, Prague was the other. I forgot Prague was even in the candidates. Worst blunder was Wesley So resigning in a draw position. Yeah, true. Right, guys, I think I am going to head off. Yeah, that's true about Sindarov and Yakubov being 50-50. It's like whether Sindarov can, I mean, if Sindarov gets his, like, kind of classic tactical flourish, then Yakubov is toast. But then if Sindarov just gets grounded out, then maybe not. Yep, tough to say. Okay, I'm gonna head off, play some more chess. So you have to forgive the slightly shorter stream than 64 minutes. But stay tuned for tomorrow. New upload coming, and also the speed run will be restarting. I've already filmed an episode for that, for the Gergenitzer one. So okay, see you then, or see you Wednesday for another Woodpecker stream. Oh my god, what did I just do? I don't know. I will work it out later. Okay, bye guys.